thank you so much for being here and tuning in to my channel. While you're here, make sure that you like this video, make sure to share it, but make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted to new videos as they are here. I am an empowerment coach and I help leaders to level up their impact. And I look at doing that in a way with a faith and a gratitude mindset. And faith like a boss is my tagline. So listen, I'm so glad that you're here. Get your notebook and get ready to tune in to this episode of Coffee, Coaching, and Conversation. I hope that you will enjoy the lesson. I do bring on guests from time to time to talk about different matters. Consider this your group coaching on the go. If you're looking for more ways to connect with me or more ways to plug in, check the description. I always have on-demand online courses, live workshops and webinars, and even one-on-one coaching available. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and make sure that you comment down below your response to the video. And if you'd like to catch me live, you can always catch me live on Facebook on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's go to today's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I know some of you all, what's going on? MDJ Motivates. What's going on, little brother? Thank you all so much for tuning in. Any of you that know me, that have known me for quite some time, especially those of you that are connected with me on Facebook, know that I used to go live frequently on Facebook. About 3 years ago, I was very consistent. And when I say consistent, I don't think I had a schedule in my mind for going live. I just did it very consistently, at least once per week, just to kind of check in with my people and see how they were doing and all of that good stuff, and just to give some encouragement. And so that's what I want to start back doing. A lot has changed in my life. I stopped being live frequently and consistently. Those of you that know me in real life and know me personally, you know that I had an unexpected loss at the end of 2017, and that loss, what's going on, sis? That loss was the loss of my husband unexpectedly 2 weeks before Christmas, and it changed my whole world. It changed the way I worked on my business. It changed just a lot of things, and I needed time to just kind of separate myself from the noise, to hear God's voice and to know what I needed to be doing. My initial response was just like, why am I doing all of this? It doesn't matter. Nobody's listening to me. That was my initial response, right? However, the Lord spoke to me very clearly and let me know that I was encouraging people and that I had a story to tell, even more so now than ever. So I just wanted to give you all that brief lead in, because I know it's been a while since I've gone live, but I want you all to know that you can expect these videos again, and I'm going to try to come to you not only on Facebook but on Instagram as well. So shout out to all of you who are watching on Instagram, and shout out to all of you who are watching on Facebook right now. This morning I wanted to talk with you about procrastination, productivity, and time management. I know that first P word we don't really like, but it's real. We are human. There are things that we are supposed to do, and for whatever reason we drag our feet. We do all of these different things knowing that we have a pending task. And I'm very intentional coming to you from my new workstation at home, right? We are all working from home now. I do have a space that I am working on to be my office. I have been working on that space for quite some time. I'm still purging. I am still trying to get used to my new normal, if you will, of just the two of us, my son and I have a 6-year-old. So that space was not finished and was not ready by the time this whole social distancing and safer at home and then stay at home came into play. So instead of being frustrated with Oh wow, now I can't go to my actual office. Oh, I love you too. I love you too. Um, I am. I decided, look, that's a task. It's a bigger task than what I can handle to get ready for this adjustment of being at home a little more often. So I couldn't go to my office, which is Epicenter. Shout out to all the coworkers that work at Epicenter, which is a co-working space here in Memphis. It's a really great space for entrepreneurs, small business owners. There's a lot of support there, so shout out to Epicenter. They are not open right now, but they are still providing and connecting resources to entrepreneurs, just in a different way, doing some digital and some virtual things. So thank you all so much. Keep the hearts coming on Instagram. So my office space here at home wasn't ready, so I decided I would take my kitchen table. It's got 4 chairs, and that's where I'm sitting right now, and I would make this my workstation. I would let go of the excuses, and I would set myself up to be productive and to do what I needed to do. So that's what I did. So I'm sitting at my kitchen table. So you probably see some fruit behind me, depending on where you're watching. You probably see some fruit. But as I was working on my office space, I found all of these things from IKEA that I purchased to make my office space / craft room, if you know me, / craft room, sewing machine, Cricut, all of that stuff that I use. And I hope you all have your coffee this morning while you're joining in. I've got my coffee, so I am ready to go. It's hot. I waited and brewed my cup just for this, so I can have coffee with you all. So I put up this cork board, and it's got my schedules on it. And I also wanted to make it feel like an office. So not only do I have my schedule, I have my brand kit here. I have a little picture of me and the little boy, and then I just have a printed calendar. I found myself getting frustrated as I was trying to work on different projects and work with people and plan out things, looking in my phone to see the calendar. I go to my phone and I schedule meetings. That's fine. I'm able to do that. But when I'm trying to think through dates and all of that, just an old-fashioned paper calendar, and not my planner that I use, an old-fashioned paper wall calendar or whatever. So that's what that is behind me, just so I can look and see the month. All right, so let's get into it. Thank you all so much again for being here and tuning in. Like I said, I hope you've got your coffee. So we're going to talk about some things this morning, and then I've got a very special treat, something free for you all that I am giving away. So make sure you stay until the end so that you can be a part of that, so that you can take part in that. All right, so we are talking about procrastination, productivity, and time management. If you're not already following me on Instagram, I encourage you to do so. Those of you watching via Facebook, I encourage you to do so. I've been sharing some tips on how to end procrastination. All right, so here's the truth about it. Almost everybody procrastinates. All right, you, me, everybody. We all have done it at some point, right? There are always things that we might not want to do, even though that we know that these things may be necessary. So here's the good news. We can avoid living like that, and we can change the way we look at our tasks, and we can make procrastination a distant memory. All right, so here's some tips for you. No matter what your reasons are for procrastinating, you can take control and get things done. So here's how you do that. Find what matters to you. It's important to be able to do things that you want to do, but the reality is that someone has to take out the garbage, someone has to wash the dishes, someone has to complete that long-winded business report. All right, so there should be a healthy balance between the things you must do and the things that you simply do for pleasure. All right, so if you want to stop procrastinating, your first step is to determine what you absolutely have to do, right? What absolutely has to get done, right? So the bills have to get paid, right? As long as we're still getting some type of income right now, if we are, the bills have to get paid, right? If for some reason we're not getting income right now, or our income has changed for some reason, guess what? The bills still have to be paid. So my suggestion is to you is not to just let it go. Don't procrastinate and think that things are just going to fall into place. Now is not the time to pick up new habits, and we need to be responsible and proactive. Pick up the phone. Call anyone that you owe a debt to, whether it be for your car, whether it be for your house, your rent, whatever. Call and make arrangements. See if they have anything in place. Some other people have done some more in-depth videos on that. I am no financial guru, anything like that. However, procrastination can impact a whole lot of areas of your life if you're not careful. So make sure not to drag your feet. If you know you can foresee that, hey, I know my next check is going to be a little short. Entrepreneurs, I know that contract that I was doing, that speaking engagement, whatever it is, I know that that's changed. I know that that's not coming in on the date that I anticipated it. All right. So be proactive. That's something that we have to do. Be proactive. All right. So also determine the things that others have told you you have to do, right? Others have told you have to do. So let's put it this way. If you are an employee and you work for someone, there are certain things that are assigned to you that you have to do. Whether they give you a list, whether they give you, send you, task via email, whatever the case may be, those things have to get done. They've told you they have to get done, right? So those are important. And think about things that you can get other people to do for you, either volunteer or paid. I'll give you an example. So we are staying at home now. And for those of you tuning in, I'm still talking about procrastination. We're at home now. I have a 6-year-old. He's in 1st grade. I'm grateful that I am a former classroom teacher. I have a Montessori approach to the homeschool that we have. He's got a schedule and I've got a schedule. They're side by side there. And let me speak on the schedule right quick first, and then I'll tell you some ways that I've gotten him to help me stop procrastinating. All right. So with our schedules, I made his schedule first. The week during spring break, we did not do any schoolwork during spring break. We were supposed to go out of town. I bought the plane tickets in November. We were a little disappointed, but we were just like, hey, we can adjust. We'll take a trip another time. We were going to Atlanta to visit family, to go to Legoland and do some other things. We didn't get a chance to do that. That's okay. We'll just do that trip another time. So since we weren't going there, I just let him chill for spring break. I didn't start trying to do this whole, we got to do homeschool. We got to do all of that. No, I didn't do that to him. And I also was very prayerful and intentional about my approach to homeschool in my house. If we're going to be in our home for an unexpected number of days, people are going to have all types of feeling, all types of anxiety, all types of things. So to combat that and to think about that kind of, ahead, I want home to still feel like home. Whenever this crisis is over, I don't want my child, this is me as a parent, I don't want my child to resent me or to resent home. That's just me. So my approach, and also a little backstory about me, I've always considered homeschooling my child. His birthday is late and he's super smart. And if he didn't get in school early, which he did, he took the screening test and he started kindergarten when he was 4. But if he didn't get in, I was going to homeschool him because I felt like him waiting that year to start, which to me would have been late based on where he was academically. I felt like that would have put him behind. Not only put him behind, he would have been bored. And then there would have been a pattern of behavioral problems in school that, depending on the situation and how many students there are, all of this, the way it would have been perceived, it just would have been a downward spiral, and it would have been a negative thing that would have just kept going. So that's that's my take on all of that. So anyway, back to, I've always wanted to homeschool him. So I had done a lot of research years ago, looking at different curriculum and different things like that. One of the most important things for me in my life is a schedule, right? I know that I can't control everything. I hear you all saying, Kimberly, no, you cannot plan everything out. You can plan, just know that your plans need to be flexible. Just know that, give some room for that. But for me, the type of personality that I am a CS personality. And those of you that are watching, if you don't know your personality type and you've never had a DISC assessment, that's something that I can offer to you. So feel free to inbox me or whatever if you'd like to learn more, so you know about your personality style and how you interact with others. I am a CS. So I am a precisionist, not a perfectionist, a precisionist. I like for things to be a certain way, and I like for them to be done with precision. Meaning, if someone assigns me a task, I really need to know, like, why we're doing it. Like, why? Like, what are our steps to get there? And if they don't give me the steps, I can come up with the steps. Like, here are our steps. I like to plan things out. It just works for my mind visually, right? Okay, so good morning. If you're just tuning in, I hope you have your coffee. We're still talking about procrastination. I've kind of moved into talking about schedules now. So for me, I made a schedule for the kid, for his homeschool. And it's actually a schedule for the full day. This wasn't challenging for me to do because we had a schedule before this pandemic. I just operate better as a parent. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm human. Procrastination sets in for whatever reason, not making excuses for it. For years, I've had unexplained pain ever since the loss of my husband. Some days I wake up and I don't feel like going anywhere. Some days I'm fine. I feel good. But there are just some days where I feel heavy. The weight is on me. And I'm grateful to have a support group of people, an amazing church where I can get the things that I need, not only for me, but for my child, and especially during this time of this pandemic. So many ways to stay plugged in and engaged, and that's really important to me. If you know me, my faith is an important part of who I am. Hence the mug, faith like a boss. My faith is an important part of who I am. So I feel like if y'all are still with me, put some hearts or something in the comment section so that I know y'all are here. I feel like, good morning. All right, so we've got a few folks on. I think Dedrick is watching on Facebook. He was in my wedding. T Harding is on. He was our wedding photographer. I've got, a few friends watching on Instagram. So I appreciate you guys, some of which used to work with Landon, my late husband. So it's just really great to see you guys on this morning. It's a great way just to connect with you all and to share. All right, so back to what we're talking about. We've addressed procrastination. I've introduced why schedules are important. I have a schedule for the kid. I noticed myself a few weeks ago. I'm not keeping count of the days we've been in this. I'm just grateful. I know today is Wednesday. There's just so much going on. It's a new day. Thank God I'm here, right? So, and that's the reason why I have a calendar too, because some days I just don't know what is what. All right, so the schedule. I made a schedule for him. A few weeks ago, I felt overwhelmed, and I was just like, I'm not new to working for myself. I'm not new to working from home. Like, I've done this before when I was teaching school, and right before I had my son, and my contract didn't get renewed, and it actually was a blessing in disguise. I was able to adjust to life as a new mom and all of these things. So like, I've been home before, and I've done that. But one thing I knew for me that I did not want to do, I did not want to spend this time no matter how long this time is, watching TV all day, every single day. That's a time suck. It is a huge time suck. I have my shows that I like, don't get me wrong, but I am trying to use this time to read more, because I was doing that right before this happened. And I was praying, Lord, please help me find a way to not only have even more of a love and a passion, a hunger and a thirst for your word and stay in your word, but to be able to read other important books and resources that are helpful to me as a life coach. I have to be well read. There are just certain things that help me to not only connect with my clients, but to just not be stagnant and stay at one place. All right, so made a schedule for the kid and then made a schedule for myself. And the orange you see behind me, that's my schedule. I made my schedule around his schedule. His schedule is most important right now. Anything that I have to do now that we're home and I don't have to physically be anywhere, guess what? It can work around his schedule. So his schedule is number one, top priority, because he's in school. And he's going to be ready for second grade whenever things go back. We're thinking that it may not be this school year. He'll be ready for second grade. Also, little plug. Sometimes we can get so overwhelmed and we can speak negatively about things that are going on in our lives, and we have to find a way to find something positive in it. And for me, instead of dreading the homeschool, instead of, oh my goodness, he's going to be home all day, what do I do? No, I said, you know what? I always wanted to homeschool anyway. So this is my trial. This is my trial. And if it doesn't work out, he can go back whenever they open the school up. I'll just take him back. And some of you may be laughing right now, but that was really my thoughts behind it. I am getting an opportunity to do something that I thought about doing anyway. It's not harming him in the sense that, the lack of socialization and all of that. This is a universal thing. So it's an excellent opportunity for me as a parent to see if this is something that I want to do, but at the same time, feed off of other people's experience as well. I've learned so much from other people. People have shared their tips with me. I've shared tips with them as far as a schedule. And like I said, his schedule is for the entire day. It includes what he's supposed to do from the time he wakes up to the time he lays down to go to bed. One of the things that I wanted to tell you about, we're talking about procrastination. It was that third point. So I'll review the points. The first point is, we're talking about if you want to stop procrastinating. Number one, you have to determine what you absolutely have to do. You have to determine what you absolutely have to do. Number two, what others have told you have to do. Those things at work, all of that, our bills getting paid, those obligations that we can't get away from. And then number three, determine what you can get others to do for you, either volunteer or paid. So, I'll tell you about what I have my son doing for me. They're his chores that I've assigned to him, but he has a block in his day that's called work, and that's his chore time. So this is time when I teach him life skills. So he has learned how to make his bed up. Does he do it? I'm not going to say properly. Is it perfect? He's 6. No, it's not. It's going to take some time. How much time and grace did someone give me to learn how to make a bed, right? He's 6. We've got an unknown amount of time right now in the house. So my prayer is that by the time this is over, he'll at least be able to explain to someone, this is how you make a bed, and maybe even demonstrate it. So he's making his bed, which helps me. So I don't have to make my bed and his bed. He is cleaning off his table from breakfast, wiping it down, putting his things away. That way I don't have to do it. Which was starting to, there was so much that I was doing in the morning that I was finding myself like, okay, how can I do all the things? No, I'm not doing all the things. I'm not doing all the things anymore. I'm just not. I'm not supposed to do all the things. I need to teach him how to do some of the things. He's already asked if he can start taking the trash out. And I'm like, you can go out with me. You're not quite old enough just yet. Not quite tall enough. You got to walk the street, all of that, to the dumpster. No, but you can keep doing your chore, which has been his chore since he was 4 years old. He takes all of the small trash cans from the bathroom and the laundry room, all of his room, my room, all of the small trash cans, and he dumps them into the kitchen trash can. And then I tie up the kitchen trash and I take the big one out. But that helps me. That helps me from having to go room to room, right? And having to go room to room and do all of these things, all the things, right? Then I find myself, oh, I'm tired, so now I can't do this today. Let me put this off. What else can I? So don't have to worry about that. So I can enlist him to help me. So that's what I've done. All right. So yes. Definitely a time to stay in the Bible. Definitely. All right. So we're talking about procrastination, productivity, and time management. So quick tips about productivity. All right. I want to tell you how to get a stuck project moving. All right. So maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you've been working on something and you feel stuck. The first step is to break it down. Divide a massive project into little pieces. All right. You can create intermediate deadlines and milestones where you can evaluate your progress, but break it down. Break that task, that project down. All right. Second, start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. Number 3, identify your peak hours. If possible, work on challenging tasks when you are at your top capacity. This is my peak time now. I'm more of a morning person. I'm not a night owl. Although I stay up late sometimes, I am not very productive when I stay up late. My eyes crossed. I was trying to send emails. I was like, I'm up, so let me just work. I'm working. No, that wasn't good for me or for anybody else. I kept falling asleep on my computer and I was misspelling words. I said, nope, let me close the computer. Let me go to bed. Let me wake up fresh in the morning and do that. So identify your peak hours. Work on your challenging task when you are at your top capacity. Is an email a challenging task? For most people, it's not. But for me, I am very intentional about the way that I come across to people, in the way that I speak, and especially in print, especially now. We're sending emails. People can read things into them and all of that. And sometimes that may be the only impression you get to make, depending on what type of business you're doing with a person. So email is not a challenging task. However, I want to be at my peak when I'm sending an email. If it's something that can be done in a text, I'll send a text. I can do shorthand. I can do emojis. But an email is going to be very professional, very detailed. And I want to be in tip-top shape. I want to be alert and at my best, especially when I'm communicating, business with my clients, trying to send them my scheduling link and all of that. I was onboarding a new client yesterday and I'm grateful I had all of my things set up. I've been able in this time to set up some more things to make me more productive, some more automations and things like that. So that's been great. But I still have to onboard. There are certain things that I have to do. The automations don't start on their own. So, I talked to this prospective client and, she got everything set up, ready to roll. All right. So then I said, I'm going to follow up with you in an email, giving you the things that I said I was going to give you that I need back from you before we can get started. So I sent that to her and it had a link to my release and consent form. which I've now made digital. It was more of like a PDF that people had to try to figure out if they could. That was too much. So now I have it as a form where all they do is type it electronically. They don't have to worry about if they have Adobe Reader or whatever. You just fill it out on the internet. It works fine on your phone. You fill out the form. There's a little box, even the type of form that I'm using, where they sign their name, not just type their name, they sign their name. So that's pretty cool that that's already built in. And then I have a scheduling calendar. I don't sit anymore and look at my phone and try to coordinate dates with clients for appointments. That just does not work out well for me, because seems to be always something that I forget about, or a time that may be convenient for them. I'm not thinking about something that I'm obligated to do that I haven't put down on my calendar on my phone. So I took some time 2 weeks ago. I sat down with my calendar. I looked at my son's schedule, my schedule, and then thought about the times that I want to make sure to be online when my church is online, and webinars and different things that I've signed up for. All right. So I did that, and I made my availability based on that. So my entire calendar is not open. That's not realistic anyway. When would I have time to follow up on emails and do all the things that I need to do? So I was able to create that schedule, which was great. And now I'm good to go. All right. So, and that's based on my peak hours. All right. So I owe you one more tip for how to get a stuck project moving. And that last tip is to ask for help. Ask for help. We can accomplish more when we collaborate with others. Exchange services with a colleague so you both can cover the areas where you shine and find support for where you need to grow. All right. So that's very important. Ask for help. We can't do this all on our own. And sometimes that's all it takes. It's just, hey, mom, that's normally the person that I call. Hey, mom, I really need your help. And this is me being transparent. And this is before the pandemic. I really need your help. I feel overwhelmed by this laundry, and I just need a little support so that I can get back on track. Mom comes over. I am not ashamed to say I'm 40 years old and my mom still helps me when I need it. But it's really good having that support, especially having lost a spouse and just so much changing. Like, my husband did the laundry, y'all. He ironed, he did all of that stuff. It wasn't that I couldn't do that stuff. He did that stuff. And so me adjusting to life, being single again, I don't really like saying that, but I guess I am adjusting to that life. It's been challenging. It's been challenging when you're used to having support, and things like that. So yes, so I've got this. So we've talked about procrastination. We've talked about productivity. Let's talk a little bit more about time management. But before we go into that, I want to hear from you guys. I didn't intend to be just on here I guess I'm going to have to do the talking, but share in the comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or on Instagram, share in the comments some things that you do or are doing that you started doing before the pandemic, or that you are doing now to help you with time management. Mine is a schedule. You can see them behind me. I have a schedule for my son and for myself, for Monday through Friday. That just helps us to stay on task with all of the things that we need to balance. And it helps me to not get frustrated and frazzled. I don't have to, nope. We got a schedule. My son has a copy of his schedule. He looks at it. Okay, mom, I'm going to do this. Sorry, I changed my voice. That's how he talks. Okay, mom, I'm going to sign in. It's time for me to do my reading. Okay, son. So I have a schedule that he can follow. It's teaching him so many things. It's teaching him how to follow a schedule. he'll be going to the second grade soon. And I mean, he'll be ready for, if school's past class in middle school, he'll be ready to read a schedule because he's reading this schedule. He's telling time even better because he's like, oh, and he talks about me trying to make things perfect. Yes. And if you have a schedule that's set by your employer, that's still helpful too. You work around that schedule. So, Dedrick just put in the comments that his schedule is pretty much set by his employer. So he works. And Dedrick, thank you so much. I know you're probably working extra hard, being a first responder, being in law enforcement. Thank you so much for all that you are doing. And we are praying for you, my friend. That God would cover you, and that you would just be in tip-top shape. I know you have children, and that you would return safely every day at the end of your shift to your home and find it the way that you left it. We appreciate you so much for your service. Not just for that, he served in the military as well. So thank you so much for that as well. We really appreciate you. And I don't think when we lay down at night that we realize how important the work that you're doing is to us. I've got a request to be on the video via Instagram. So folks on Facebook, you'll hear me talking, and I'm going to bring on my sister. She's going to come on and share with us this morning.
Hello. Let me make sure my Wi-Fi is on.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, those of you watching on Facebook, make sure to put down in the comments some things that you have done for your schedule.
Can you see me?
I cannot see you. It says connecting still.
Let me check my Wi-Fi.
All right, so while we're waiting for that to connect, I want to go back over those tips. How to get a stuck project moving. The first one is break it down. Divide a massive project into little pieces. The second one is start somewhere. The third, identify your peak hours if possible and work on challenging tasks when you're at your top capacity. And ask for help. Ask for help. So I'm not sure what happened. I know recently a lot of people have been having trouble with Instagram with trying to bring people on their videos. I noticed videos that I've been watching, they've had a lot of issues with that. So we just lost. We never did connect there, but that's all right. We will keep moving. So I told you I had something really, really special for you if you stayed tuned until the end. All right, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I thank you all so much for being on here today. Before I close, I can't not give you a verse. I got to tell you what the Bible says. As my grandfather used to say, people would try to tell him things and he would ask the question very directly. Well, what does the Bible say? So I'm going to tell you what the Bible says, okay? We're talking about procrastination, productivity, and time management. We want to end procrastination. We want to increase our productivity, and we want to work on our time management skills. All right. End procrastination, increase our productivity, and we want to build and strengthen our time management skills. All right. I will be coming to you this morning from the 90th number of the book of Psalms. Psalm number 90. 2 verses 12 and verse 17. Verse 12 and verse 17. All right. And it reads, and I think I've got NIV here. Let me just make sure. Yep, this is NIV. And it reads, verse 12, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Verse 17 says, may the favor of the Lord our God, rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. So Moses had seen a generation squander 40 years in the wilderness. He believed that if leaders could only gain a keen sense of the swift passage of time, and if they would work for something significant, they could die with a great sense of satisfaction. Leaders don't kill time. They execute it. All right. So in this pandemic, if you don't have any other word, do not squander this time. This time is so important. Things are uncertain. I know they don't know how the ways it's being transmitted, when the virus really started, all of these conspiracy theories, all of the news, all of this. Shut out the noise. Shut the noise out. Shut it out. All right. Those of you that are believers, pray. Pray. One of the prayers that we've been praying at my church is that the Lord will stop this virus from spreading. And I have been praying that prayer in my personal time. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm praying they find a cure. I am praying this. We want all of those things. We want all of that. But we need this virus to stop spreading. We need it to stop. So we need to follow the urging of our government and stay home. Stay home. This is not a time to squander. And like I said, I haven't, during my work day and all of that, no TV. No TV. I try to limit my TV to the weekends because I'm trying to read as much as I can during that time. That's my peak time. That's when I'm at my best self. That's when I can comprehend what I'm reading. For me, how much of a waste of time is it for me to read something and I don't even understand what it says? And not that I can't comprehend it, but just that I'm not alert. I'm not at my best self. I'm just reading the words just to say that I read. Okay, I read chapter 2. Okay. No, I want to be able to read something and have an intelligent conversation with someone about it. All right. So do not squander this time. All right. So leaders manage their time and do more with less. I hear you saying, friend, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. Whether you are a leader in the community, even if you don't have a supervisory or management role in your job, you are a leader. Someone is looking at you. You are setting an example. Leaders are influencers. Leaders are influencers. So somebody is watching you to figure out what they need to do next, whether it's on your job, whether it's in the community, whether it's at church. All right. Or if nothing else, let me tell you, you are a leader because you're a leader in your home. Whether you have children, a spouse, you are a leader in your home. So it is very important that you think about your time, how you're using your time, and the example that you're setting in your home. You set the tone for your home. So in my house, I want my son to understand that we are learning. We're learning every day. We're learning something new. He goes on a virtual field trip every single day. That's a part of his block. He's telling me about all these different animals at the San Diego Zoo and, all of that. Don't squander this time, friends. I love you all so much. And all of you that stayed on, or if you catch this replay, I have something just for you. It's free. No strings attached. It is a personal reflection exercise worksheet that I made just for you. And here's our affirmation for this week. I'm going to try to come to you weekly on Wednesdays. Let me know in the comments if this time is good. I won't be as lengthy. I had to do a little bit of a share my story in the beginning to those of you who didn't really know me. But our reflection for this week is I am managing my daily routine and regaining control of my life through setting specific goals. All right. I am managing my daily routine and regaining control of my life through setting specific goals. That's our affirmation for this week. I have a reflection exercises worksheet that's for you. It's absolutely free to get it. Just go to my website, KimberlyDenise.com, and I'll actually, if you join me over on Facebook, I'll put a link on Facebook and Instagram. I will put the link. It'll be in my bio. All right, so I'll put that link in my bio here in just a few minutes. All right, so thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make it a great day. Do things on purpose. Know that I love you. And hey, make sure you got faith like a boss. Love you guys.